Grant, first day back yesterday. How did it go?
Yeah, really good. The players have come back in a good place. Obviously, a tough day for them. First day is always a sort of a psychological test where the players know that they're going to be tested with the tremendous off-season plan that they've set them in the medical department and the sports science department. So everyone's come through it really well. Beat a lot of the scores from last year, which is really important for us, that the group look like they've obviously managed themselves well in the early part, but got stuck into the plan as we went through. So as first days go, can't complain.
Mood among the group, how's that?
Yeah, really good. I think it's the mood's been really positive, obviously from the last game of last season, and we just want to try and continue that. Really, it's there's a lot of obviously work going around the training ground, which the players now can see that we're moving in the right direction. Lots of works inside the training ground. Just to smarten the place up, to show the players that we are trying our best to be the best we can be, and ultimately, obviously, new members of staff coming in, new players coming into the building, players coming back from loan from last season. So there's a real good camaraderie about the place at the minute.
You've touched on a few times that those little things that you do at the training ground, those little differences, those improvements, and what they can mean to players as they come back and see that, as you say, things are progressing.
Yeah, I think it's important that when everybody comes back, not just players but staff, they see a difference. They see that the littlest things. The place has been painted. New signs have gone up, new pictures have gone up. There's a massive big photo artwork in the canteen of us picking the trophy up at Notts County, and things like that. Just those little things are huge, but not just that. Obviously, the great work that's gone on just outside my window here in terms of the new building. The pitches are in tremendous condition, so credit to the groundsmen who have worked so hard over the off season for to put us in this position. And then this week is just focusing on hard work. Obviously finalising plans for Spain, and looking ahead, over the next few weeks of getting back into the pre-season friendlies, and ultimately looking forward to the first game of the season.
You've touched on it, but pleased with the condition that the lads have come back in?
Yeah, good. I mean, look, it's not like the days when I played Liam, where you could have 6 or 7 weeks without doing anything, and then you use pre-season to get fit. It's different now. You have to come back ready, because like I said to you last season, if you're not, you'll be found out, and when you're found out, you'll find yourself not in the team. So I think everyone understands that. We've got a really good group. I said to you, 97-98% of them last year came back in a great condition. We've about 100% of them, at least all of them have come back in a top place.
A couple of new faces since we last spoke. Demola, Ajayi, why him for this season?
Yeah, an exciting player. Demola, again, is a player that we have watched all of last season. When he came on and scored for Tottenham, we thought we might be a bit too far for us. I said to Demola, fortunately for us, he didn't play after that, and he sort of laughed, but I think he was desperate to get another opportunity. But yeah, we've kept in touch with Tottenham all through, probably from Christmas time last year, on Demola. Lots of reports on him, lots of games watched. So again, I think he'll add a different dimension to us. And like I always speak about the wide forwards, they all need to bring something different, and Demola certainly brings that.
He can play across that front line.
Yeah, he can play any of the front three positions. He can play as a 10. So he's a real good. The fact that he can play in numerous positions for us, we like that. We like the versatility at the top end.
We talk a lot about players being hungry, but having the heights of that debut and scoring in Europe on your debut, then he'll be desperately itching to kind of get going and prove himself at senior level now. Yeah,
look, it's going to be different for him. Obviously stepping into first team football consistently, but he's coming off the back of a really good year. He's played quite a lot of games for Tottenham, the 21s. He's made his debut. He's on the bench in the Europa League final, the Europa Cup final. He's won a trophy. He's picked the medal up. He knows what it feels like to win, which is brilliant for such a young player. And he's a bubbly character. You know, he's come down right away, he's settled quickly, he's going to move into his apartment when we get back from Spain. Again, that's really important for us, that they settle quick and they get into their accommodation as quick as they can. So he'll love it here. He'll have a really good loan with us, I feel, and a big impact on the team.
Another new face, Sean Grehan. What can you tell us about him and why you brought him to the club?
Similar sort of vein to Demola and what we're speaking about. Again, a player that we've tracked for some time. Obviously, we've seen that he had, in his own words, Sean, really a disappointing loan at Carlisle, where things didn't go a plan, didn't get the game time he wanted. Obviously, really early on, I think it was, but what he's done is gone back to Crystal Palace and he's gone out and he's played 18, 19 games in Ireland, and he's been one of the best centre backs in Ireland over that time, which doesn't surprise me. You know, given the character of Sean, what I like about him, he's a footballing centre back. He can play, he can handle the ball, he can break lines, but on the flip of that, as a centre half, you need to be able to defend, and he can certainly do that. He defends on the front foot. He's aggressive. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to work with Sean, because I feel like, again, he's got a really high ceiling. I think he's a player that we can develop, and maybe a little bit like we did with Jay. It reminds me of his situation a little bit. Will it take Sean a little bit of time? Who knows? But you know, certainly the games he's played in Ireland is going to put him in a good stead when he comes to us.
You feel he can make an impact now?
Absolutely.
Well,
yeah, we wouldn't have signed him if he couldn't. You know, we want to be having 4 centre backs next year competing for 2 positions. And as you've seen last year, there was times when we dipped into a back 3 or things like that. So all the centre backs that we bring in will be fighting for those positions, and that'll be no different this year.
Do you have to manage him in carefully, given that he's probably had a year of foot? He's not had a break really. He's just having a mini break at the minute. But
yeah, he's obviously had a full season playing football. Then he's gone out. Obviously, when we're finished, he's still playing. So we'll give him just an extra week, you know, just to let himself unwind a little bit, and then we will manage him a little bit when he comes back. So he'll meet up with the boys in Spain next week. I think Tuesday his flight is booked for. So again, it'll be good to have him part of that trip to Spain.
Recruitment as a whole, 7 in at this point, before just as pre-season starts. How pleased are you with that and what you've been able to do?
Yeah, really pleased. Listen, I think we're still short in 1 or 2 areas. Like I said, I mentioned the centre back. We'd like to bring another one in. We're trying hard on that. But we're working. Yeah, we're working. You know, we want to try and sort of put the group into place. You know, whether that's players going out on loan, the structure of the squad that we want to work with. As pre-season goes by and the games kick on through the games, then I think you'll see that. But I'm really pleased with. We've got everyone in the building. We can assess them over the first week or 2, and then we can start making our decisions on what we feel is going to be that group to take us forward.
You might have work to do in certain areas, as you said, but you've got a fairly decent balance across the group in terms of numbers.
It's been tough really this off season. Harder probably than I've been used to. Not in terms of the targets, because we feel like we've got all our targets, but it's the negotiations with agents and the timings of trying to bring players in, because it's, you know, a lot of players are on holidays and it's difficult to get in touch with them, and then it's difficult to strike a balance of we need them in before pre-season starts, because the way we structure our off-season plan, it's important that the players get on that as quickly as they can, because I feel as if they don't, they come in here on another plan from another club. It's completely different. So hence why we like to bring players in as early as we can. We've got 7 through the door. Hopefully maybe there will be another 1 or 2 coming through as we go into pre-season, and then we can start, you know, looking to try and get some players out to play some football, and be fair to them really, and let them know where they sort of stand.
Is that why then you're quite keen, when even with loanees as well, that they come and start work here rather than back at the club, where you say things might be different?
Yeah, because I've seen it so many, and by the way, we do the same with our younger players. You know, if clubs want to come and and take one of our younger players, we'd do it, you know, because I think it's important that players get to feel what it's like with that group in pre-season. It's the bedding in period. It's difficult. Not everybody wants to do it, particularly lone players. They want to assess them and see what they're like. But from our point of view, it's important we get them in and they can get a feel of what they're coming into.
The games start thick and fast just after you come from Spain. You're pleased with the lineup that you've got and the way that you've been able to structure that friendly calendar?
Yeah, it was a bit of a last minute sort of thing. I'm usually organised on pre-season fixtures, to be honest, but it was probably my fault when Adam and Cliff and Glove and Cops and everybody was coming to me last year to say, look, such and such a rang about a game, this team, that team, and I was like, look, don't speak to me about pre-season. There's only one focus for us, and that is to win the league. We've done that, and probably a little bit late in terms of our fixtures, but managed to structure pre-season the way we want to structure it. So it's the players will be ready to go into the 2 60-minute games at Alfreton when we come back from Spain, and then it just gets, you know, into the heat of the pre-season games after that.
You mentioned it a few times, but very much seems to be following a very similar plan and approach than what you did last summer, and obviously that paid dividends in the end, towards the end of the season.
Yeah, similar, very similar, but there is a few little tweaks in it in terms of the training and games. But yeah, look, it worked for us last year. We felt the players started the season really well and in a good place. So hopefully we can do that again.